Hi everybody, it's me, Rogue Stories, and welcome back to this other video that I'm doing. This is the abandoned Deku series, remastered. Um, I'll be focusing on this from now onwards, mainly this, because I have a story to go by instead of the Ruby what if that I'm doing. What if I was in Ruby? I won't be focusing on that so much, but I will be doing it still. Reasons being because, well, first of all, number one, um, I am doing this freestyle now, so I have to create my own story. And after the fight, I didn't really prepare much on the what if I was in Ruby, so yeah, until I get some ideas, those episodes of what if I was in Ruby will be coming out slow. What if I was abandoned? Well, I have a story to go by. I can follow the My Hero Academia story and add my things in, which is going to be self-explanatory and quite easy for me to do a what if on. So yeah, now that I said all of that, let's begin this video. And also, I don't think I don't think that I keep, no, I'm not saying this on my videos. This what if, this Deku Abandoned series is an Easter special. As in, yes, and also happy Easter to everyone that's watching my videos. I don't say that often in my videos, I usually forget. Now, let's stop stalling and begin. Actually, one more thing, I didn't really prepare this, so I'm gonna go this off top of my head, freestyle for now, and see where the story goes. We cut off, I think, after the sludge villain, as I think Deku was deft, but he also got away from the media as such in canon. As Deku got away from the media outlet, the media, as Bakugo came in and stated that he didn't need his help. As it's the same old Bakugo. I will not be giving Deku a quirk. I won't be giving Deku one for all. Or, yeah, one for, no, not one, yeah, one for all. I will not be giving Deku one for all. Reasons being, because he's already going to get a quirk. His quirk is going to trigger some... Or did his quirk trigger already? His quirk probably triggered already. I probably stated that in my last video. His quirk triggered, but I don't know how that might... Oh, I don't remember how the story went. But if he didn't trigger the video, if he didn't trigger his quirk, then his quirk is going to trigger now, I guess. So yeah. As Deku has to be training for the UA. As Deku is training for the UA, he starts basically doing also some side jobs. Side jobs such as delivery, like for pizzeria delivery, as sometimes he does it on foot. By running over the roofs, he's pretty fast, increasing his basically parkour skills and acrobatics, all that jazz. He also does strength training. He does that on Deku Beach by cleaning it up, obviously. As he also saw two other people doing the same thing he was doing, but he kept a section of the beach specifically to him, so he doesn't disturb them. As Deku cleaned up this quarter of a section of the beach, which was spotless, under a few weeks. By the time he was done, the other people were also done cleaning the beach. So yeah, yeah. Those two wanted to talk to him, but every time he finished up, he usually left earlier before they leave, as in not to disturb them. So yeah, they don't get shot. All Might and I think it was Mirio, yes, he's going to be getting the quirk, um, didn't have any chance to speak with the boy that was helping them clean up Dekuba Beach. As I would say, with the money that he gets paid, yes, he gets paid, With the money he gets, he buys weapons, I would say. He bought a sword and a shield, a original sword and shield. He also bought a bow with a few arrows, and he's also I would say he's also a science freak, so he likes making things. So I would say with his cleanup job, he scavenged a few things and started creating other weapons, brass knuckles, all that jazz. Remember, this is not just this. Like I stated, this is a bit inspired by Minecraft, but this is inspired by mostly modded Minecraft, so the weapons are going to be different. As he's also going to use the weapons differently. As the days go on, as we get to basically, I would say, the intrinsic zone. As it begins, as Deku is on his way, I would say he's wearing his his school uniform, but like underneath, like over, under, he's wearing it underneath. As over, he's just wearing like an open green jacket. So you can see the school uniform, but over it is just an open green jacket with a hoodie on and a mask. Because he likes wearing a mask. Well, under the hoodie he has a crown on, but you can't see that. As he's basically standing as waiting, everything goes per usual. He doesn't trip this time, so he doesn't meet Ochako. As he's on his way to class, as he sees this person with glasses scaling out this other person that was rambling to himself that was pretty near close by him. As this as this person seems to be, how can I say it, very, very, very to the rules. Very to the rules, as he states. As President Mike states, once that gate opens, you run out. That's what he states as Deku walks up in front as he hears that. As President Mike starts a countdown, but the doors start opening. As Deku just runs out. As President Mike states, well, follow his example and go. As President Mike also follows up with that, there's no countdown in a real battle. Go, 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 as everybody just starts running after Deku. Deku got a head start. As I would say, his head start, he got a head start. Now, he will be able, the weapons he has, he will be able to cut metal with this. He will be able to. How is he able to? He's more stronger than the average person. Thanks to, I would say, like, if I did like let him activate his quirk early, then his strength would be more, he would have more strength than the average person if he did activate his quirk early, as I stated in the last video. I don't remember if I let him use one of his abilities. I don't remember the last video I made, but I might have. If I didn't just say his quirk, gosh, how can I say this? Give me a minute to think. You know what? I'm just gonna say this. This is from the Technoblade in Dream thing. He's just normally stronger that he's able to just pierce through metal with a sword. Yeah, that makes sense. Just say that he's, gosh, or to make even better sense, he cuts the wires with his sword, and he uses the shield to block, or to take less amount of damage instead of all the damage that is given to him. As he's quite skilled because he's very parkourish. He usually dodges, he usually takes out 1-pointers, 2-pointers, and tries to stay away from the 3-pointers. 3-pointers are too big, so he'd rather take out the small fry, and then once all the small fry are down, if he has an opening, he'll take out the big fish. Because the 3-pointers are quite heavily big. They're big. Bigger than the rest of the robots. So, yeah. As I would say, the number of three pointers he took down is 6. And the number of people he saved is like, he saved a lot of people. As I would say, he starts using his bow as he shoots one of the 3 pointers in the eye. As now it kind of can't see, but it can still. As he basically goes, I think, under it or around it, basically coming to its back, parkours on top of its head, and then pulls the arrow out and shoves the sword down its head as he pulls it out. As the arrow disappears, as the sword still in his hand, as a shield appears in the one that he had the arrow with. As he continues doing that, as the 0 pointer comes, as it's towering over, gone, as it breaks a skyscraper on its way, as we still see the iconic scene with Ochako and Deku, as Deku starts rushing in to save Ochako. As he lifts the rubble up and basically helps her as she runs. She's able to walk because she didn't sprain her ankle, so she runs, as Deku is following behind her. Deku is not so lucky as he trips over something while he was running. As he basically tripped, or his foot fell into this hole, as he's struggling to get it out, as when he does it's already too late. He is now underneath the robot, as it's about to crush him. As Deku basically lifts up his sword over his head, hoping that it might do something, as he states, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die here, I'm gonna... As he basically didn't have time to finish that last sentence, as the thing just about to crush him, as Deku states, no, I'm not gonna die. As he's saying this constantly in his head, over and over and over, and time seems to slow down. The deception, as he sees his life flash before his eyes. His life has been nothing but hell, as he had to fight his way to get here, and now that he has something, he's about to die with it, and can't do anything. He's not gonna die here. He tells himself, he's not gonna die here. As his eyes, no. Even, as his eyes go white for a second, I'm just gonna do this, as the 0 pointer stops in its tracks. As I would say, it can't move anymore, as it's being lifted up. As we see Deku floating slightly, he's slightly floating, as the 0 pointer gets lifted up and basically thrown. Actually, he gets lifted up as this robot gets ripped apart. As Deku has his hand in front of he's in front of him, basically moving it as he is doing this thing. As he is ripping this robot apart, one arm off, the other one off, one leg off, the other leg off, and the head. As he basically took the body and just crushed it, as he made a fist. As in a motion of crushing the object, as he lets it go. As the test is over, as he passes out from I would say, straining his quirk. His quirk revolves around the mind, the body, and maybe the soul. But he was using the mind as in telekinesis, and he strained that, so that's why he passed out, as he started bleeding from the nose. Recovery Girl came to heal him and tried to repair some of the mental damage that was put on his mind. He was taken to the nurse's office to check on basically his brain, I guess. You can say, for any, like, permanent damages. She can't heal everything. she can't heal brain trauma, or basically she can heal some things but not everything. Brain trauma or psychiatrical, I can't say psychiatrical, I don't know. But yeah, everything revolving around emotions and feeling, or even pain within the mind, she cannot heal. She is not a psychic. Only a psychic can do that. And it believes that Deku is one psychic, a very powerful one, if he's able to use that amount of telekinesis, as she saw. Yes, there are people with psychic abilities that have quirks, but one as powerful as Deku's are unheard of. So that means Deku is one of a kind. He has one of the most strongest psychic abilities in the planet. Why does he have one of the most powerful ones? Because if he's able to do that with just sheer will and to a zero pointer, then yeah, his psychic ability is incredible. His quirk is also unique. As he wakes up in this hospital, or this basically nurse office, as I think Recovery Girl tells him to relax. He just woke up from basically, I think, um, I don't know what to call it. Let's call it a psychic coma. Reasons being, if you strain your if you have a psychic quirk and you strain it too much, you go into this sort of psychic coma, where your mind needs to recover from the amount of damage you put on it. So yeah, as let's just say it's like that, because I don't know what else to call it. As Deku states, oh wait, what do you mean by psychic? As she's like, wait, you didn't know? So you're telling me you never used this before? As Deku states, I don't. My quirk is My quirk is to store objects and weaponry. Have a master of any weapon. As for Cavalry Girls, like not what I saw. I saw this. I would say that they have a recording, as they play back the recording of how Deku just ripped the robot apart. As he doesn't remember that, as he says, I did that. As he looks back down to his hands, is this my quirk? Is this actually my quirk? As she states, if your quirk only awoken now, then that's incredible. Because, oh my gosh, that is annoying. Sorry about that, had to move locations. Because now I can't do anything in my room because someone else is there. And I won't be able to have peace and quiet. So yeah. Yes, as he's just discovering this about his quirk, because I don't believe that in my last video, he used the side of his psychic quirk yet. So I'm just gonna say this is the flaw of his first time using his psychic quirk. As he goes home, as he's still awestruck on what he did, basically ripping the zero pointer into shreds, and like basically destroying it like it was nothing, as he tries to do it again, but this time at his house. As he's sitting on his bed, as he focuses on the cup of water that is on his basically table, as he's trying to lift it with his mind, as it doesn't work, as he puts out his hand and tries it even a bit more, as he focuses more and more and more, it doesn't work, as he says, huh, maybe that was a one-time thing. As he laughs at himself and says, maybe that was a one-time thing. As he tries it again, Damn, I cannot get a quiet place to just sit and do a video. It's impossible for me to do that. But yeah, okay, finally everything is quiet now. Well, sort of quiet. I stated as he tries it again, but this time clearing his mind. As he focuses on nothing but the glass, and only the glass, as it finally floats. He's doing it. As around his hand there's a green energy, so is around the glass, as he's moving it with his hand. And he tells it to come towards him as it lands inside his, as he picks it in mid-air with his hand. As he starts laughing, saying, "Whoa, it actually worked. I actually did it." As he basically thinks about this, as he instantly goes on the internet, starts searching things. As he searches ways to clear your mind and meditation, ways to focus on the object, as he gets a few training things, as he immediately starts training this. He's thinking if he can master whatever he's able to do, whatever psychic ability which he has, or whatever ability that he just used on the zero pointer, if he can master it, he can do mostly a lot of things with it. As he's pretty much excited. As yeah, I would say a few days pass as he's practicing this ability. Well, his psychic ability. As we see him meditating on the bed. As he's been doing this every day. As right now, like a few things are floating in his room. Most of all my figurines are floating. A glass cup is floating. With water in it, obviously. A few pages, books, maybe no, not his bag, it's too heavy. Maybe his bag is sort of floating, just everything is floating. As he's increased his range and how much heavy things he can pick up, and how heavy the things can be. As the range is now spread into the kitchen, a few things are floating there as well. Forks, knives, dishes, the basically the usual. As Inko's actually asleep, it's also affecting Inko's room. There is a clock that's floating, a few lights. I wouldn't say Inko is floating. She's not floating. Um, Clothes. Yeah, all small things are busy floating inside Midoriya's house. Hold right now. As I would say this is only inside Midoriya's household, because he didn't expand it towards the outside of his household yet. As Inka wakes up and she just sees all these things floating, she's kind of confused. She thinks this is her quirk, as it's basically unlocking a new potential of her quirk. Instead of attraction, um, it is now basically pure on telekinesis. But no, she is not doing this. As she looks around to who is actually doing this, as she goes into Midoriya's room, as she sees Midoriya floating, meditating, as she's shocked, obviously, because she thought Midoriya had unlocked his full potential of his quirk. She didn't actually know that Midoriya had telekinesis, as Midoriya is still working on it, as he's basically not that, how can I say it, proficient with it. As I would say that when Inko came in, it disturbed Midoriya, as he fell on the bed, with everything other thing that was floating just dropping to the floor and not floating anymore, as he was disturbed, as she's pretty proud of him. But because Midoriya has a similar quirk to her that revolves the mind, she is going to train Midoriya. Well, she's not proficient in her quirk. She knows how to train it first of all. Whether she never wanted to be a hero and never wanted to train a quirk, it's still good to train a quirk. As she knows, the reason how she knows this is because she has a quirk of attraction. It's kind of similar to telekinesis, as in she uses her mind to attract things closer, whether it be heavy objects, small objects, light objects, you know. As yeah, that was Inko's quirk, and she knew how to train it, but she never did, because she never wanted to be a hero. As she also knew some training about if she had a telekinesis quirk, as that's what Izuku has, and that's what she's teaching Izuku. As I would say, Inko would go out and buy a few things. As Inko bought a metal ball. What I mean by a metal ball, she bought a metal ball. She bought more for them. Four of them. They are pretty heavy, very heavy. As I would say that they are equally as heavy as a gas tank of gas, obviously. The big ones, the large tanks that you use to power your gas stove. They are mostly grey tanks. What I know, they are grey tanks. Not the blue small ones, but they are grey big tanks. So yeah, that's how heavy they are. And there are four of them. Inko had a struggle to get them to the house, but it was quite easy. With, uh, but it was also good practice for her, because she also needed to use a quirk, attraction. So yeah, she was training as well. As the next day, she came in with this two basically bowls in and placed it in Izuku's room, as Izuku was confused. As I would say that Izuku's room has a mat, as she placed it as the entire floor is a mat. So yeah, I'm just gonna say that. She places on the floor and states, "You're gonna be training your quirk, your telekinesis quirk, and the way you'll be doing it is trying to pick up all four of these balls at the same time." As Izuku's like, "That will be easy." As Inko's like, "Oh really? How about you try?" As Izuku tries to pick up one, he can't. He can't lift the ball off of the ground. As he states, "Damn, ah." As he basically has a headache for trying too hard. As she states, "Take it easy. If you push yourself too hard, you're just gonna hurt yourself more. Take it slow. And try meditating the way you've been doing now, but mostly focus on these two balls. On this ball for now." Now, I'm just gonna quickly check something. Okay, so I am standing in front of the tank that I was speaking of. Now, I'm looking for the weight limit. So, that is hard to find for me. The weight, how heavy this thing is. But it's 19 kgs. I think I am seeing this right. 19 kgs. The tank is that heavy. It's a 19 kg tank, so the balls are 19 kgs. As Deku can't pick that up yet. As I would say, while he's busy doing this training, his letter would come in, and Inko would give it to him. He would get into UA, as that's the day of his UA day starts, but he'll still be training his quirk. As I would say, it was like 5 days he's been training his quirk. Inko got those four 19 kg balls on the second day. So she discovered it on like the first day. She bought the balls on the second day, as Izuka has been training with those balls for basically 3 days now. As he got the letter on the fifth day, as he had to go to school. but he still trained his quirk. He gotten a bit more proficient to it. He's able to pick up a pot plant. He's able to pick up anything that is smaller than a pot plant. How big the pot plant must be? It must be a table-sized pot plant, not a massive one. He's at least able to lift the 19 kg ball slightly off the ground. So anything that is below 19, he's easily able to pick up. 19 kgs, he's easily able to pick up. Anything below 19 kgs. As I would say that don't worry, he's also training his parkour. He is walking to school, so that gives him a chance to basically test out his parkour skills and how rusty it's gotten. For his surprise, it didn't really get rusty at all. It's just the same. It feels like he's improving somehow. As he's jumping left, building from building, as he's also using his telekinesis quirk to do certain things. Like see if he can pick up any heavy things that are around that is at least 19 kgs that he can feel. As this is also improving his quirk range has also increased, but because he's been focusing on 19 kg balls, he doesn't really know. His range of the things that he can pick up is quite far now. Say it's 2 apartments down. It's like 2 apartments wide and 1 apartment down. That is his range. And also 1 apartment up, so that's his range of his dome that he's able to pick up things from. As his reach as well. Not that good. As he gets to UA. I'd say he gets to UA not that early that he's past than his other self will get there. As I would say he was looking for class 1A. As he is walking down looking class 1A, class 1A, class 1A. As he finds it. There you are. As he walks in, before he walks in, he states, "Damn, why would someone need such a big door? This door is massive." As he walks in, as he looks around, he's still wearing his face mask because he doesn't like showing his face. He's also wearing his green jacket. Instead of his UA jacket, he's wearing a green jacket. As I would say he does not like wearing, basically he likes hiding himself. As everyone sees this person with a green jacket, green hair, and messy green hair and a mask walk in. As I would say Ida would come in and introduce himself and state that he is a better student than Ida is. But Ida would first belittle him for his fashion sense and why is he not coming in his UA uniform, stating that he has a problem and that he does not like people seeing his face. He can't get rid of the problem. It's a mental trauma, he states. As Ida steps back from his belittle and states, "I'm sorry, I didn't know you were that badly." As Deku says, "It's fine. I mean, it's not that bad." As Deku puts his hand on his mask, basically not going to take it off, but thinking. Yes, Deku has a mental trauma. He doesn't like other people seeing his face, even his hair. He likes to hide, basically hide behind a fake smile that the mask gives him, so they don't actually see the real face that is behind that mask. As he knows, as he did go to therapy once in a while, but they keep on trying to force the mask off, when, yeah, he just doesn't want to. He doesn't want anyone to see the real face behind the mask. So he keeps it on, to fool everyone and to everyone to think that he's a cheery person and he's always smiling no matter what happens. But really, he's not really always smiling. He's always sulking, you could say. As I would say, Ochako would come in and states, I recognize that green jacket and messy hair anywhere, including that mask. You're Izuki, correct?
thank you for saving me the other day, as she introduces herself as, same Deku, obviously. He's not that shy of girls, but he's still, how can I say it, a bit, a bit, how can I say it, wary of them. Reasons being is just because they can't see his face, obviously, so he won't be able to turn red. So she won't know anything. So he's basically fine with talking to a Chaco. He doesn't act the way he used to act. As I would say that Bakugo is still there. He didn't catch the part where the reason why I'm not doing Bakugo much is because he actually ignored Bakugo. He didn't, like, the first thing, if he entered the class and if he basically was paying attention to Bakugo, the first thing out of Bakugo's mouth was to say to Ida that, what, did your school put a stick up your ass, or were you just born with it? So he just ignored that. So that's why he didn't hear anything from Bakugo. He basically has a filter for stupidity and anger. Bakugo filter. He basically has a Bakugo filter. So anything stupid and unnecessary Bakugo says, it just gets filtered out to blah 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 blah. So yeah. As Mr. Zawa walks in a bag, in a sleeping bag. As all Deku sees is this teacher in a sleeping bag, a little sleeping bag, basically sleeping in the middle of the hallway. Confusion. Just confusion. As he states, is he gonna be our teacher? As Mr. Zawa gets out of the bag and says, yes, I am your classroom teacher. Mr. Zawa, now go sit down. As Mr. Zawa still does the same talk. It took you at least something minutes to shut up. That won't do. As basically he speaks about the training and test that they're gonna do. As Mina states, what about the entrance exam? What about the entrance ceremony? As Mrs. Zawa says that the entrance exam, the entrance ceremony are for use. The entrance ceremony are just for weaklings, and that this is a school to train heroes. So I get to run my class however the fudge I want. Understand? As he pulls out basically uniforms and says, put this on and meet me in the mock test, or meet me in the testing ground. As they put on and get dressed, as Deku takes off, I would say he takes off his hoodie, his jacket, the school clothes, puts on it, but he doesn't take off his mask. As he keeps his mask on, covering his face, showing a smile. As Kirishima asked about that, as Ida states that you should not mention the mask. The reason why he doesn't do it is it's a bit of a trauma problem. He doesn't like taking the mask off. As Bakugo says, it's sure. As basically Bakugo, he wanted to say something, but he heard Ida say a trauma problem, as basically Bakugo looks down as he remembers the day when basically he he could have helped. The day where Izuku got taken by those villains. He remembers that. And on that day, Deku just wear that mask. Basically to hide his face. As Bakugo looks down and says, yeah, a trauma problem. As he basically rubs the sadness off of him and continues walking. As Deku gets dressed in the UA uniform, but still has the mask on and still has the jacket on. Actually, no, he doesn't have the jacket on. He just has the mask on. But everyone can also see the crown. So, yeah. He also has the crown on. As Izuku makes his way to the test, as Mr. Zawa states, okay students, now you're going to be doing a test. Now, the person that got first, obviously, Bakugo. The person going basically first is Bakugo. As Mr. Zawa says, you can use your quirk however you feel like it, and go all out. as Bakugo smirks and states we can use our quirks, as he does the same thing, throws the ball and screams die as massive explosion sends the ball flying. As Deku's like, impressive. And now we skip, and now the ball test. I would say Deku got 6th place in the ball test. The long jump, Deku got 3rd. Actually, the long jump, Deku got 4th because he's more at parkour. Basically, he's more parkour, like he had more training parkour, so he's 4th. Strength grip test, he got like 7th. I'm trying to think now. So I did long jump. Let's say the running, he got 8th. Yeah, he basically, out of all the tests that they done, he basically got, well, like 5th place, because he mostly got 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. And the stuff that he did do good in was mostly parkour, so he either got 4th, 3rd, or 4th, 3rd, or 5th. So he got 5th. As Mr. Zawa still said, if you don't do your best, you're gonna get if you fail this exam, you're gonna get expelled. As that was just a lie. He just lied on that one. As yeah, as I would say that now I'm gonna get to heroes versus villains test with All Might. As Deku is still in the class with his jacket on over his head, crowns on with his mask as he's waiting, as All Might walks in and says, I am here, coming through the door like a hero. Or, it's not coming through the door like a hero, coming through the door like a normal human being. I don't know why he says that all the time. It's like, whoa. It's just funny. It's just comical and funny. As All Might still does his same chat thing, tells everybody about the heroes versus villains, as he presses the button to basically show their suits. As Deku did make a suit. Yes, he did make one. As his suit revolves around his original like crosswear. Instead of the bunny ears, he doesn't have the bunny ears on. He does not have the bunny ears. He's wearing the same uniform he does in canon. As instead of the gloves, he's wearing bandages. He's still wearing the same boots, obviously, but more of a parkour style boot. He's wearing like arm stuff on his basically shoulders, stuff on basically shoulders, stuff on his elbows. Basically like stuff, if you fall, you don't damage your elbow, you don't damage your knee. Yeah, he's wearing that. He's wearing like a bit of like leather armor, I guess. It's not that thick, it's just parkour leather armor. As he's like, no, he's not wearing bandages. He's wearing some type of glove to assist him in parkour. He also has the hoodie, but the color scheme now is white. Instead of dark green, it's light green, and so it's white, light green, and yeah, white, light green, and black is the black color mix here. As he's still wearing the mask, that gas mask, but he doesn't have the bunny ears anymore. As also he has a cape. He has a cape. So he has a cape, but the cape is black. So it's light. So it's light green, black, and white mixture color. You can almost imagine that he still has the same boots. He has parkour gloves this time. As he also has guns with him. He has basically a slash sniper rifle, like a sniper rifle, obviously. he has two pistols. These bullets are all vapor bullets because he can't hurt anyone with the original bullets. These bullets also like assisting as tear gas and other things that he can use. But I'll explain his basically why he has all this stuff, and I'll add certain things to his suit if I want to add things. But yeah, let's continue. As Deku is basically standing there, he's basically has his sniper rifle on his back, as his two guns are stored in his basically store. He knows how to open his inventory. So yeah, as he has a lot of food on him and water because his quirk also relies on food and water. So yeah, as it's the same setup, as I'm gonna skip to Bakugo and Uraraka. Bakugo, Ida, Uraraka, and Deku. Fine. As Uraraka still goes, Deku still comes up with the same plan. As Deku is now going to be the distraction for Bakugo. They all rush in as it's the same thing as, not as in canon, but as in canon. As Bakugo bursts through the wall as Deku tells Uraraka to go. As Deku pulls out a sword and a shield and states, "Bring it on." Now the sword and shield looks different, being the sword is green. The sword is green like an emerald sword, as its hilt is, I would say, black. Its hilt is black. As his shield, the inside is black and the outline is green, emerald green. So basically he's rocking an emerald green hero costume with emerald green weaponry. So is his gun. As he's also rocking his mask. As Deku pulls out basically his sword that he's going to use, as he pulls out the shield as well. As he blocks Bakugo's explosion. The weapon he has is Zorbarism is basically like Deku basically ordered this as he wanted something that did absorption because he was using a sword and a shield. He wanted something to absorb, basically a weapon to absorb like an attack and just send it back twice as strong. As they came up with something, I would say that Deku's like wanted he made it like so vague, stating you can make the sword and shield however thing you want, just make the color scheme emerald green and black, with a bit of white also, and you can do whatever you want, whatever metal you want, just it must be absorption and able to redirect power and send it back at the enemy. As they went to town with us, Deku was one of the most vague, so they had a lot of like open breathing room for them to do a lot of things and a lot of upgrades as well. Deku's hero costume is one of the unique ones because of the way his quirk works. Now, Deku is also able to see what this thing can do. Just by holding it in his inventory, he's able to see it as absorption, fire, yes, he's able to see all of that. And he's able to tell what they put on this thing, what did they modify. So think of it like Tinker's Craft, or Tinker's Mod. Yeah, it works like that. As none of his weapons have durability. None of his weapons, wait, his weapons does have durability, it goes down very, very slowly. As Deku blocks Bakugo's absorption, one of the absorptions he has is elemental absorption, so anything that if he gets hit with lightning, fire, wind, or water, if he gets hit with any four of those elements, he's going to absorb it. Earth, well, I don't know about Earth, because they still need to find a way to do that, but with his telekinesis quirk, it might work. As basically blocks the explosion with Bakugo's Bakugo's explosion with his shield. As Deku's boots are also a bit different, being he won't be able to be like knockback is not going to be that much of a deal for him. You won't be able to knock him back far enough for you to do enough, like to get distance, because his boots allow him to have basically, even in rainy weather, he's not going to slip. He's not going to slip over buildings, slip over mountains. In rainy weather, that boot will stick like it was magnetized to the wall. As Deku absorbs the flames that Bakugo produced, as he puts down, as his suit transfers all the flames to his sword, as his sword ignites in fire and states, "Bring it on, Bakugo." As he chases down, as now he's chasing down Bakugo. As Bakugo has to avoid Deku's sword, at the same time trying to basically counter. As Deku's doing great to counter swipe, yeah. And Deku has a lot more combat. He has a lot more combat skill. Not combat experience, but combat skill. As they are watching, All Might and the others are watching in the basically the room where all the cameras are, basically. As Momo says, that's impressive. He's using the sword and shield very well, like he's been using it for years. As he states, he got Bakugo on the run there. Yup. As Kirishima states, damn, that's manly. He got Bakugo on the run there. As Bakugo is basically backing off from Deku now. But Deku's not giving him a chance. Bakugo can't get, like, how can I say it, far enough distance to use his quirk, because he's just using his quirk close range, and it's not effective. As Deku swipes at Bakugo, basically cutting his torso slightly, as Bakugo winces in pain and feels the burn. As Bakugo jumps back, Deku jumps forward, as he sees his opening and basically kicks Bakugo. And also they are near a window, so he kicks Bakugo out of the window. Bam! Bakugo's flying. As Deku pulls out a bow. This bow has also been basically increased. Basically, I'm gonna state that, like, before his suit, he personally went down. Oops. He personally went down to the basically what we the support class, and personally asked for like to them to make this, because reasons he needs to explain them himself, because there's so many. He explained to how his quirk works. He can use any weapon they give him: long range, close range, hammer, axe, drill. He can use any weapon. Just give him a weapon that's one long range and one close range, and he'll go to town with it. As they gave him basically a sniper for the long range, but they gave him two long range weapons because he wanted a bow and a sword with a shield. So that's his close range weapons for now. The weapons they are working on for him, his axe. But he's deciding on going into the support class himself, because he might do good there. He doesn't know. He's interested in support items as well. As Izuku pulls out his bow, as he pulls back the arrow and fires. As the arrow is charged up with fire, Bakugo is throwing so much basically explosives that it charged him up just enough to create this fire arrow. As he fires this fire arrow, I would say it ignites in flames and then explodes when it hits Bakugo. As Bakugo gets sent flying to the ground. Bam. He's not dead, he's just very injured. Not badly injured, very injured. He won't be getting up. He's knocked out. As All Might's sakes, Bakugo is knocked out from the round. As Deku quickly makes his way towards Ochako. As Ochako is having a problem. She is having a very bad problem. As Izuku kicks down the door, basically cocks back his bow and arrow, cocks back his arrow with his string, and just shoots randomly. Lucky for him, he was aiming exactly at the right spot where Ida was. As the arrow lands on the floor, as it explodes, Ida gets sent flying to the wall. As he tells Ochako to grab the bomb, as he pulls out a sword and basically pulls out his shield and bashes Ida towards the wall. Now Ida's stuck and pinned between Izuku and a wall, as Ochako grabs the bomb as they win. And that's how they won, guys. Now I'll be continuing the rest, such as the UA basically crash thing, the UA Sports Festival. I don't know what the villain attack I'll be covering over as well. And that's it for this video, guys. Until next time, I cannot speak. I cannot speak today. Until next time, bye everybody, and I'll see you when I see you again. And maybe in the Ruby what if that I might be doing. I don't know if it's coming out today. So bye.